there's a sense of separation. The only connection I have to God is through Christ. And without the connection, I have no connection to God.
Okay. And
without
I was
that connection through Christ, I have no connection to God.
So
right.
what
And,
you're saying, Apostle,
I was going to finish. Just let me
Christ
finish.
Christ wasn't born when Adam and Eve was there, so they couldn't use that Christ connection BS.
Christ
even if they say that,
slain
oh my God, you got him
before the
talking.
foundation
I wanted to say something.
of the world. Christ was slain in Genesis 1.
Okay.
You can see evidence of Christ being slain in Genesis 1:1 in the word Bereshith.
All right. Well, if you say that we were only connected through God through Christ, Christ was a sacrifice in the Bible. In Genesis, they do. I'm going to go back to the Bible. We said we're using the Bible. We're eisegeting right now, all of us. We look at the actual text. There is no separation from God. So they didn't die spiritually. In the actual text, in chapter 4, it says, I've gotten a child from the God, and it says, if you do good, like he's talking to Cain, she's talking to Cain, to be honest. They're talking to Cain saying, if you do good, then like Abel, who does blood sacrifice to God, then you'll be fine. So there's no disconnection from God. They didn't die spiritually. And that's what the text says. The text says that. Can you address that?
Yes, I can address that. Because of the sacrifice, which is a type and shadow of Christ, who is our true connection. Those sacrifices points to Christ. That is the connection. That's why they're doing the sacrifice, to restore the connection that was lost.
What was the sacrifice?
That got them kicked out of the garden. That's why there was no sacrifice in the garden, except for what God did to clothe.
There was a sacrifice in the garden. That's why they had animals' clothing on. They killed an animal. They had on the clothing of animals.
They did not. They had on leaf.
No, when they left, it says they had.
The Most High did that. The Most High covered.
No, but Apostle, let me just get a word in.
I'm just saying the Most High did that.
No. You said there was no sacrifice. They did kill an animal.
They did not kill an animal. Adam and Eve did not kill an animal in the garden.
Then how did they get the animal's skins on their body?
The Most High gave it to them. He clothed them. Because he
found. I'll let Rod handle this.
Well, wait. Apostle, wait. The books say clearly, who told you was naked? Because they had put something on. They covered themselves. Who told you was naked? So God didn't even know that they had been told they was naked. Come on now.
They covered themselves with leaves. And it did not cover them.
The next question, sir.
Yeah.
Got a question for you.
You muted, sir.
Stop muting me, sir.
All right. Yeah, I'm muting you because you can't be quiet when somebody asking a question. So I'm asking you a question now.
Trying to answer.
All right. No, don't answer. We moving on. Does God have partners, or do God work alone, Apostle? The God of the Bible, of the Hebrew, of the Israelites. Apostle?
But the Emerald City is not an Emerald City. It's a Crystal City. It's just going to land on Emerald Lake in Colorado.
Go ahead.
Right.
I got videos of that. I got. Hey, look, I ain't gonna tell you. I'm about to get ready to put some shit out that's got that video in it already. I might send you a copy of send you a picture of the video. What you just said. Yeah, I got a video. I got a reenactment of that.
Right.
Man, it's a movie I'm finna get ready to put out called The Pickup. So y'all gonna like that movie. I've been working on it for a while. And it's gonna be fire.
The Crystal City is actually a Anunnaki jumper ship.
Go ahead.
It's the size of a city.
Go ahead.
It got buildings on it.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
But it's not the mother plane.
Nah.
It's just a jumper.
But
if you do your research on Emerald Lake, you'll find that the county is in is called the Silver Bow. Right? Now we talking Sagittarius, was it Aries the Archer?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the shape of the county of Silver Bow, it's shaped just like the Liberty Bell.
I gotta load this up. hey, you keep talking, Rob. I gotta start riding, but I'm gonna just switch to my phone.
We're gonna be wrapping it up pretty soon.
All right,
we're gonna take a couple. Let's take about 3-4 questions.
All right, we go ahead. Hey, y'all got any questions based on what we're talking about now and what's going on the land? Drop them in the chat, man. Drop them questions in the chat. This is from Little Rock. Shout out Little Rock, man, in the building. It says, if you're just not coming in, you might have to roll it back, man. We was talking about the 4 girls making the connection with the 4 girls in the bombing. It says, what's next in 18? Do you see? They say, do you see anything happening in Atlanta, Rod, with all this going on? Like they are playing some in Atlanta, like a part of this chaos.
Atlanta got away about 4 years ago. They was trying to plant a dirty bomb. And I got a video where I was remote viewing it, and I seen it when they captured the dirty bomb. It was in back of a semi.
Uh-huh.
So the time to get Atlanta
passed.
Right now, they can get another bite at the apple if Atlanta keep indulging in nefarious activities in the community.
Makes sense.
Because they controlling the energy frequency. If it's too much negative shit going on, like it was where them fires was at, they gonna catch some shit. They gonna catch some shit down there.
So pretty much, this is the Big Mama Universal Energy, pretty much pulling her belt off, handling
whooping that ass.
Yeah.
Everybody don't get the same whooping. We all get the whooping according to how Big Mama see the dirt we did.
Yeah, it ain't no. Hey, look, the people the shit that's this happening to, it ain't nobody poor and the people that ain't doing. It's the rich people that been doing all this stuff. Everybody that stuff that's burning down, it's the people who the bad guys. Really, when you think about it, it's the bad guys, man.
Yeah, this not no accident.
Nah.
Look, and nobody not noticing on each coast we between fire and ice.
Yep, that's right. Icy hot. Ice, hey, you put icy hot on your neck, leave. Big Mama put that icy hot on her knee, man. Hey, that shit that Big Mama gotta be burning though, boy. I ain't lying. That shit burn a hole in you.
I'm not sure which black flag they talking about. If it's a MIA POW flag or what. A black U.S. flag, which means take no prisoners. I'm not sure what the flag, what black flag. I didn't see it. You want to look it up, Elder?
Hold on, I can look it up for you real quick while we waiting. Hold on, let me see. I got you right here. I'm gonna look at it right now. Okay, this is okay. Here we go. Here we go. Another. All right. Let me look it up. It says, what area in the U.S. are safe zones with mountains for us to shelter at when poop hit the fan? I guess we're talking about like a nuclear explosion or something.
Ain't gonna be no nukes.
That's what I said. That extraterrestrials ain't gonna let them do it. They already said it. They ain't gonna let them pull off a nuke. And if they do, Ooh, that's gonna be.
It might be some big ass bombs, but they're not gonna be nukes.
Yeah. Black flag.
Yeah. If you want to see what I mean by big ass bomb, go to YouTube and type in Moab bomb, mother of all bombs. It was tested by George W. Bush, G. Dummy, when he was about to right before, I think it was right before 9/11. But they tested it. It's called the Moab bomb, mother of all bombs. But that's not a nuclear bomb. It's just explosives, volatile explosives in high density concentration to render a mega blast.
Yeah, I see people talking about that black flag. Hold on.
The MIA POW flag is for missing in action prisoners of war. They still have operations going on around the world where they was taking prisoners of war that haven't been returned home yet. And you got a lot of people that went missing during combat. And you got us, we prisoners of war on the land. So the flag is the battle cry for the ones that's prisoners of war.
It says gay rights and black. Hey, some people saying it's for gays and Black Lives Matter.
No, not the POW flag.
No, the black flag. They say it's for says these are green lines. Says these support cops, firefighters, and military at all times. Police support officers started popping up after crash. Police shooting on black people. Okay, all right. Yeah, it's just some decorations look like. It says, look, what is Project 2025? We already put a tape. Hey, go back on the video side. We got a whole tape out called Project. What is Project 2025? It's the government, the government trying to wean the American people off because they going out of business. So they don't want to just leave you hanging. They gonna try to give you a severance pay. It's like a severance pay type of thing. And then they go out of business. They really don't got nothing to really give you because they really don't got nothing. But they gonna try to give whatever they got once Donald Trump liquidate all the assets. That's what he coming in and do. Donald Trump gonna liquidate the assets.
You remember when you asked me why all that UN stuff was all across the land, and I told you that America, the foreclosure, we was getting it all back.
Yeah, they collect, right? Because that's what a liquidator do. He goes collect all the assets. He got to bring all that back. That's why he went and got the gold. That's why Trump went and got the gold. All this is a series of events that's happening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now we almost to grand finale part where we realize that we won a war, good versus evil. By no matter how much evil was done to us, we still remain to be the good.
Yeah.
By standing in a position of right, telling the truth. And the ones in the position of right, them the righteous.
This is what I'm saying though, Roy. Why the hell they paying? I understand why they paying the Japs. They blew the Japs off into space, right? 1940 but why are they paying the Israelites, these so-called Israelites over here, and we ain't got paid? After what all they did to us, why we ain't getting paid and they paying some Israelites? I know why because the black thing for the Moors. I'm talking about it just don't make sense still to why these Israelites over here could get paid and America didn't even do nothing to them. The Germans blew them up. The the Americans didn't blow them up. The United States corps didn't blow them unless they was in with the Germans on the
you gotta also add to that that the U.S. economy is the #1 financier of the state of Israel.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. Why they paying all that money to them and they don't even got nothing to do with them? Unless
It go back to World War I and the Balfour Declaration before any of that ever happened to them.
Okay.
When in World War I, when they was running out of money to fight the war, they went to the Jewish bankers. And the condition was to establish the state of Israel.
Man, that makes sense. I think
This is during World War I. It's the document is called the Balfour Declaration. Once it was agreed upon by the United States, France, and Britain, it was actionable in the international law for them to pull that marker when they was ready. They
so
pulled it.
Somebody else's land and then take their fucking flag down on it.
Right. Yeah. Now they got to first figure out where they want to go. If you go back and look at the time that they was chartering the state of Israel, I think it was Ralph Bunch, bitch ass, went over there and carved out their lines of demarcation. But before that, they had a total of like 12 different places that supposed to be their promised land. So they didn't even know where it was supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, now, once they settled on taking Israel, why did they settle on that?
Palestine, right?
Yeah. But why did they settle on that geography?
Because they had all there or something, I don't know.
Oil.
Yep.
Oil. Industrial revolutionary oil.
Yeah.
Now, at the time that they discovered that oil over there, you got to remember, you had this company called Shell, and you had one called American Standard. That was the oil manufacturers in the Americas under their cousins, the
Rockefeller.
Right. They were financiers, oil and railroad owners. Right. Now go look at the Monopoly board.
Yeah.
It's a game they playing. They only gonna help their own. So they leverage that knowledge of or that need in order to fight the war because they funding both sides anyway.
That's right. Get down to it now.
And where could they be funding them from other than Switzerland, a neutral territory?
Go ahead.
I'm not taking sides in y'all war, but here goes some money to both of y'all. Fight it out.
Pay me though. Yeah, both of y'all gonna pay me.
Yeah.
No matter who lose or win.
Because you're gonna need some money again. Because after the war, you're gonna need to come back because you're gonna have to do something called building infrastructure. Right? So when they come in to build the infrastructure, if I turn down the loan, you just living in squalor.
Right.
You living in a war-torn community. Like we've been living ever since they've been burning us out of Philadelphia and burning us out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and burning us out of Rosewood and burning us out of I don't know how many cities in Mississippi. I don't know how many in Alabama.
Right.
I don't know how many in Louisiana.
Texas
they were
too.
setting our cities on fire. So burn their ass back up just like they burnt us up.
Right. Because it ain't the projects that's getting burnt. It's the rich folks.
Right. Now look, the same people that's controlling the purse strings on the wars is also controlling the purse strings on the building of the civilization, or what they call the revolutionizing of the civilization. So you're gonna have a revolutionary change in the civilization over a period of time. Right? So the revolutionary change is turning everything around in their favor was the goal. But we don't want to be their slaves and we don't want to be working for them. And matter of fact, we competent and capable enough to handle our own affairs where they could get out of the seat as the caretakers of our estates.
Right.
We don't need.
We ain't wars no more.
And Britain trained them to be bankers and lawyers, and they all part of the gentry. But we don't need them. We got chiefs.
Right.
We got badass braves. Them young YGs coming up. Right? We got them soldier sisters like Sister Soldier that's coming with their fist pump and telling them that we ain't taking that shit no more. This ain't your Martin Luther King generation. We hold grudge like hyena hold bites.
You ain't finna hit us with no brick and think you finna just go, yeah, man, they crazy.
No, we believe in self-defense.
Yeah, you hit me with a brick, we gonna shoot, we gonna start open up the can of whoop ass on your ass. This time, 2 cans, god damn it. You know what I'm saying? We go open 2 cans. Martin Luther King should have opened up a can of whoop ass, but Byron Rustin them.
He couldn't. You got to remember that was one of the restraints for us to be able to have the opportunity to reclaim it back, as we couldn't take them to bloody war unless we give them an extension.
Damn.
So Martin couldn't go to war with them.
And Martin had them guns at first before Byron Rustin.
Garvey had it. Go back and look at the pictures of Garvey. He had an army with him.
Yeah, he did.
Of us.
Yeah. And them boys had Terry Bushes on.
And he was teaching how to rebuild and control and govern civilizations.
And
he just wasn't no activist.
Nah.
Right? But we get this we know that it's people that look like us that ain't us that got us in this condition, but we have a propensity to blame the wrong ones for doing the dirt when they did the most good. Because the enemy is always going to shovel dirt on the ones that you can hold up as your best examples of heroes. One of my favorite books of all time is Message to the People by Marcus Garvey. Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, I got that book.
Right? He give you so many jewels, goddamn it, you can be twisting caps and busting heads by learning to the stuff that he telling you that need to be learned. How we need to organize. What's the secret behind the oppression? How do we break free? He looking. When he figured it out, he left us a message. He said it might have been, he said, if we had to wait 200 years.
Start off with the Anunnaki Pantheon. Can you explain this to us, brother?
The Anunnaki Pantheon consists of the father Anu. Anu have 2 wives. One of his wives is the mother to Enlil and Inanna. Another one of his wives is the mother to Enki, and then he got other concubines that have children, but the man is Anu, right? The Anunnaki are both matrilineal and patrilineal. It depends on which planetary system they operating on, whether they follow matrilineal or patrilineal, because they follow in the primary rulership gender of the planetary body that they inhabited. Right? So there's a lot of scientists in the Pantheon, or the ones that we came in contact with. There's a lot of military personnel that we came in contact with, and we call them stuff like the god of the development of genetic engineering, the god of implements of war and stuff like this, right? But it's just telling you more of what they do when they're not here. And the godship is really just the lineage from the people that amalgamated with them. That's why they say the godship was passed, or the rulership was passed from heaven to earth by Anunnaki. That's the tablets just telling that stuff, right? One of my worst things I like to talk about, but I have to talk about it because there's so many people in the research field, and that's anything that is dealing with outside of the earth. I don't like talking about aliens, extraterrestrials, extra dimensional beings, because we don't focus enough on what's going on earth and the stuff that's controllable. We want to take a big bite out of something we have no control over. So for a long time, I wouldn't even answer questions on nothing alien. But now we at a point where the Congress of the United States is admitting there's extraterrestrials in the ocean, extraterrestrials sending ships to the earth. They have the bodies of aliens or extraterrestrials. They call them biologics, meaning they got a body. Then they're giving a whole disclosure in congressional hearings, and now it's like you can't evade the questions no more. You can't say, well, we need to worry about Earth now, because now whoever it is, whether they extraterrestrial, whether they extra dimensional, whether they live primarily under the water, whether they live in the earth, wherever they from, whether they from a different timeline, whether they somebody from the future that hack time travel, it's somebody here that ain't supposed to be here, or that wasn't always here. And the movement of governments, we had South Korea tried to establish a martial law, but it got turned over by the people and the elected officials that could override the mandate. Then you had France fail. Now you have one of them countries in the Middle East, I think it's Syria, is falling, right? This is just the beginning. All these governments have to go for the new system to take place. And this Anunnaki discussion is part of the discussion of what Christians call the return of the Christ, or what the Muslims call the coming Mahdi, what the Hindus call the return of Krishna. It's all the same thing, right? And we get these stories, but we don't know the source documents. While I was waiting to get on, somebody said something about me saying that the Old Testament was written first. I got that from Dr. Ben. When he said Dr. Ben said the Old Testament was written after the New Testament, and it wasn't no Hebrews before Christians. I'm like, where's you getting it from? So, check out what the old man tell me and go look at where he said, look. Right? He ain't the only one I heard say it. I heard a couple of pale-faced scientists saying the same thing. Right? We know religion is a single idea of military conquest using the priest as the soft cell of the military strategy. They go in first. They go in before the foot soldiers. Why would you send the priests in before you send the foot soldiers? Right? So all of this stuff, what we seeing going on, it's an inevitability that the old system fall, because entropy has become so rampant that the decay of society is obvious to even narrow-minded individuals. They could see that the society is decaying. They just don't think that we're going to ever do nothing about it. It's just going to continue to decay until we just live in raunchy on the streets. Every day, people doing savage stuff to each other. That's not the case, right? It's a structure to the natural order of things. And all we trying to do is get back to natural order. And the interference, according to the written record, comes from these beings we call Anunnaki, who had a sibling rivalry gender war that was the war in heaven that landed on earth. You on mute?
Yeah, let me ask you this question. Because I was always wondering, are the Anunnakis real, or is this just another myth? Are the Anunnakis real people?
Well, I read them as energy personally.
Okay.
Right, because anything that if I can't walk up to a dude and say, "Hey, my name Rod, I'm from Earth," and he like, "I'm Zuzu Azu from Nibiru," I can't say for sure because everything that we argue in most of our debates is speculative. We wasn't there. We wasn't there. We did. Ain't nobody living right now that's supposed to walk with somebody they call Jesus. We wasn't there. Any account we have is a secondhand story, even if it's the onlooker. He's second person perspective looking at the first person reality unfold before them. So I read it all as an energy. I don't read none of it in history as these signatures belong somewhere. They got something to do.
Okay. All right. Let's welcome to the stage. Brother Gideon is in the building. Hebrew Israelite. Brother Gideon, you have a question for Brother Rod Hayes?
Yeah. First, thank you, sir. I want to give all praises to the Most High in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. Peace to the Brother Rod Hayes. How you doing, man?
Peace, brother. Peace. How you doing?
I'm good. This is just to what I've been hearing you say. There's nothing, to speak into who I think you are or anything like that. So I heard you say that Dr. Ben said that the Old Testament was written after the New Testament, but I'm here to say that that's patently false because Dr. Ben, although he claimed to be a Cometian, does also claim lineage from the Hebrew Israelites. So where did you get that from? Because I
heard it in a lecture. I heard him say it in a lecture on the history of Europe.
Okay, so if it came down to it, I could pull something on video of him saying it.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be able to pull that back up.
I would have to go through his lectures and listen to him again to give you the exact lecture. But at the time that I was doing my research and I was listening to him, I didn't understand what he was talking about. Right? Most of the Hebrews that we see today follow the Torah, but the ones in early biblical time follow the Talmud and the Mishnah.
When you say early time, what period you talking about?
Around the time that the Bible was developed, around 200-300 Christian era.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to know that you can continue. I just be in the background, and if side let me, I can say something else.
All right. You can turn off your camera if you want to say something else. Okay. Let me ask you, my brother Rod. Is the Zechariah extension the most reliable source we can get when it comes to the Anunnaki?
The most reliable source is to use the online codex to get and use that as a translator tool and do it yourself. That's the most reliable source. But like I say, all this stuff is energies. Anything that's outside of your current reality is a signature of a historical energy. Some energies is more powerful than others, right? But we don't look at stuff like energies because we taught everything as in nouns, person, places, or things, right? But if you read it as an energy, all of the energy is going to tell you a different story than person, place, or thing tell you. It's more information in reading it as an energy than reading it as person, place, or thing noun format, which we trapped into that 3D person, place, or thing paradigm because we need something based on our reality that we can perceive as tangible, that we can okay, I can go put my hands on so-and-so, I know where he at. But if we don't exist no more, everything he did, he left what's called an energy signature, a trace behind him that he was here. And that's why they say you died 2 times in ancient Egypt You died the first time when you physically die, and the last time your name is spoken. That means your energy don't exist no more. If your name stopped being spoken, your energy not here no more. As long as they speak your name in reverence and honor, it keeps your energy alive longer and longer and longer.
Okay, when we talk about the Anunnaki, is this the same, maybe talked about different when it comes to the Bible? Because the Bible also talks about giants. So is this the same thing that the Bible's talking about? They just call it, you can answer.
The Bible is an excerpt from Kemetic texts, Ethiopian texts that predate the Ethiopian Bible, and it's an excerpt from Anunnaki texts. All of these things was used to like make a soup that we call Christianity.
But
so all of it is in there.
Yeah, so you talking about the giants that's in the Bible. Wasn't it giants?
So they don't, in the Bible, they call the giants the Nephilim. And Nephilim mean, it's from the root word Nephala, meaning to fall, in reference to them coming from somewhere other than here to earth. Then you have a group of people called Anakim or Anakites in the Bible. That's the same as the Anunnaki. They just, because the linguistic difference, the name is not pronounced exactly the same.
Correct. Right. Yes, I checked on Cube. Rod, when you told me on the last one, he's all right, brother. He's pretty good. Brother Apostle, can you pull your camera down some because it's blocking you? The words, there you go. You're good. You got a question, Apostle?
Yeah. I was going to talk about Anakin and Anu. The scriptures talks about them, but the word Anunnaki deals with explanation more so than it deals with a certain being or certain deity. It just means from heaven they came. So that's what the word Anunnaki means. From heaven they came. And they are associated, the Anunnaki are associated with reptilians from
Sirius.
Not Sirius.
And Orion.
Orion. Yep. From the Orion star system. There are two different sets. One is benevolent and the other one is somewhat malevolent.
And so you believe these were real people, Apostle?
I believe that, I believe personally, similar to what he said, there's a lot of confusion when it comes to the Most High God. What I wanted to share earlier before you left, I wanted to close. I want to tell y'all to pay attention to what's going on, being reported in Jersey and all throughout the country and all throughout the planet about UAPs that are being seen. Hundreds.
UAPs?
UAP.
That's unidentified aerial phenomenon. That's what they've been talking about.
There's something that's going to happen. I'm going to tell you, and they're going to use it. And they're going to deceive a lot of people by it. A lot of things that we call aliens. If I'm living 3,000 years ago and I happen to see a spaceship come out of the sky and a 4-foot creature come out of it, I might call that creature a demon. I might call that creature a demon, a little imp. You ever heard that before? What a demon looks like? They are imps. They are tiny, 3 to 4 feet, green. Today we call them grays.
All right, Apostle.
I'm going to shut up with this.
Go ahead.
If I want to learn about the Anunnaki, I would do what Sitchin did. I would go to the same sources he went to, the records that are in Sumer. the Akkadian files, the stones. That's where he got his information from. And that's what I would study. Unfortunately, Billy Carson name is like mud around here these days. The white boy done did a job on him, and everybody's talking about him.
Everybody's talking about it, man.
Everybody is talking about it.
I couldn't believe I tuned in a little bit to Sarah.
Even Yara. Yara. I mean, everybody. I'm like, y'all give Billy a break, man. The man don't know everything. He ain't apostle. Give him a break.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. If anybody want to come in, you got to turn on your camera. If you don't turn on the camera, don't bother coming in. Okay, let me move on. You can stay there, Apostle. Talk to us. How do the ancient Egyptians and the Sumerian stories about the Anunnaki relate to each other, Brother Rod? How do they relate to each other?
We talking Puerto Rican and Mexican.
Okay.
We're talking two different groups of people that both have some commonalities to them. When you go to the Emerald Tablets of Tahuti, right, he said he was told by his father to take his ship, lift up from the earth, and go west and settle in the land of Kemp, right? And when you look at what's going on at the time, this is the same time that there's conflict between what they call the Earthborn and the ones they call the Igigi, right? This is what they called it, a workers' rebellion, right? So when he go over there, he say he raised up his staff and humbled the hairy barbarian of Kim and compelled them to submit to his authority, right? Now, we don't know, like, for instance, when you go to Khan Mansa Musa and his brother Abu Bakari, right? Abu Bakari came over here, he had a staff of rulership. We tend to think that he used energy when he could have just been using a rulership staff they're familiar with, right? That's just a side note. But my perception is the Kim that was set up, Egypt that was set up in what we call Egypt today, it was a duplicate of what was in Arizona long before, during the time of Atlantis. And I believe that Tahuti was sent over there to watch the Anunnaki because they was violating galactic law in their laboratories and in their experiments.
All right. Peace to you, my brother. What's happening, man? Do you have a question for the brother, Rod?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Peace, brother.
All right. Peace to you. I just happened to do a live on this not long ago on this very topic, and I think that it's necessary for your audience, Brother Sarnetta, that they get a thorough background on exactly what this whole Anunnaki thing is. It's kind of difficult because, what's happening right now with Billy Carson, and to an extent, even with Zechariah Sitchin, a lot of these guys that put this stuff out, they rely on a lot of the mythologies or the associated claims without any verification from an actual inscription. With all due respect, with much of what the young man was saying, we don't have documentation to support it. Even with the brother Apostle making references to Sumer, we don't even have, there isn't even, the word Anunnaki isn't even in a Sumerian inscription. It's not there. Anunnaki comes about during the Babylonian and Akkadian period, and to an extent, the Neo-Assyrian period. And even the name that is so popular it's just wrong. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself. But first of all, what the Sumerians in their literature, what the scribes wrote was, and it's just a simple term, they were of the royal family of the skies. Okay, there is no from heaven to earth, none of that stuff. You don't even have a word for earth in Sumerian. Okay, so I just want to be able to break it down, at least in the layman's terms, to where it's really understandable, so that in the future, whenever this topic comes up, we can dismiss people like Billy Carson, Zechariah Sitchin, Malachi York, or any one of these guys that are out here pushing a false narration about ancient history as it pertains to the ancient Sumerians. And one of the myths and deceptions is saying that the Anunnaki were those who came from heaven to key earth. That's not even in the grammar. That's not even the word. What we have is real simple. First of all, the very first, could I share my screen?
Rod Hayes, is it cool or what? Because this is your day-to-day, brother.
I'm liking what he's dropping down, so I'm with it.
Yes, go ahead, brother. You can share. Hey, you know what, brother? Can you put your number in the back and I could give you your own show? You could do your own show. I would love that.
I'm surprised at you, brother Sonetta.
Why you say that?
Because you seem like you don't even know who the hell I am.
I can't really see your face. Let me see you, because you blocked. Oh.
Oh.
I got you, yeah, but I still need your number, though. I forgot your number or something. Put your number in the back, brother. Yeah, in the chat. In the back.
You are watching a master at work, Chuck Morgan.
Share your screen.
I think that this is necessary, and because I did this with the Smash Rockwell show, I think that is necessary to have to pull up again. Let me hit this. Let me make my screen large so that everybody can hit it. 1, 2, 3. But please bear with me. It's just going to take me just a second.
Brother Rod Hayes, you can cut in whenever you're ready, brother. This is your show.
Oh, by all means. By all means. All right. Can you see?
Yes, I see it.
All right. Now, this is done because I'm an intermediate Sumerian language student. And this is something really basic and simple. It's not anything that's hard, rough, or complicated, because it wasn't even something that is really much in Sumerian folklore and literature. Okay, so the Anunnaki appears in post-Akkadian Sumerian literature as gods of the royal seas. Okay,